everybody, I am MayorHawk and we are back again with another HawkVlog, and today we're going to talk about Star Wars The Last Jedi. And I really, guys, wanted to bring you a non-spoiler Last Jedi talk, but I just don't think I can. So, spoiler warning for this video. I'm going to put it in the title and everything. If you don't want to be spoiled, if for some reason you haven't seen it yet, if you're waiting, definitely see this movie. It is amazing. It is a great Star Wars film. It's just a great movie in general. If somebody's worried about not seeing it because they haven't seen a Star Wars movie before, it does enough explaining of the backstory in a natural manner that I think that this could actually be a good jumping on point for the series. The only movie you actually really need to see for it to make sense is The Force Awakens. But even then, it explains the events of it well enough that if somebody just wanted to go see a good movie, this could be that good movie this time of year for you to go see. It is great. It is amazing. If you're a fan of Star Wars, we're going to talk here for a minute. You might have your moments that you didn't like, but as a giant fan of Star Wars, I loved every minute of it. So here we go. We're going to get going. If you don't want spoilers, leave now. Go see the movie. Come check out the video again after you've seen it. And let me know down in the comments below your thoughts about it. But here we go. The movie starts off with, we're with the Resistance. What we used to call the Rebellion. Now they're the Resistance. They're fleeing from the Imperial forces, the First Order forces. I'm reading Star Wars comics, so Imperial's on the mind. The First Order forces, and the First Order has found one of their bases. They're set to wipe them out with an Imperial dreadnought. This massive looking, it dwarfs the Star Destroyers. It looks really cool. And we start off with a really entertaining, fun scene of Poe Dameron faking out General Hux by acting like he can't hear him over the comms, stalls things out for the Resistance to get off their base. And we get an awesome fight scene, but the whole point of that scene is to just indicate, yeah, Poe is this amazing fighter. He's not there as a leader yet. He makes the poor choice of continuing to fight to destroy this dreadnought, which was cool, but at the loss of a lot of Resistance fighters when they just don't have the numbers to lose. And so that's kind of the overarching theme of the movie. It's established right then and there of, hey, young guys, you're great at this yet, but like you were great at being heroes. You have heroes down, but you haven't learned quite who you need to be yet for this series, and that's why we still had the old guard there, and Luke and Leia and some of the others, and that's kind of the theme throughout the movie is it's a continual passing of the torch, much as Han Solo's death in Force Awakens. Spoilers if you haven't seen Force Awakens. It came out in 2015, so I don't feel bad saying that. He passed the torch in many ways, and now this movie is a continual passing of the torch, saying like, hey, we want to give this over to you. Leia wants to give over to Poe. Poe's just not there yet, and so she demotes him because he's not there yet. And then we go to Rey, and she's on Ahch-To, and I think one of the more hilarious, like there are so many funny moments in the film, but one of the really great moments was the ending of Force Awakens. We have Rey holding the lightsaber out to Luke, and they have the long stare, and we get that again, much shorter stare in The Last Jedi, and then Luke he grabs the lightsaber from Rey, and he throws it. Bye. and that's Luke's attitude. That's where Luke's at right now. He's like, hey, I tried to restart the Jedi Order. They're all dead, except for the ones that betrayed me. And I failed. He's like, it's all my fault. I did this. So he's just not in a good place as a person. And so that's his feelings about all this. It's just, no, I'm done. And like that was just great. We see Rey try to bring him back to be her teacher. And it's just, the movie was a great ride, guys. I could sit here and try to go scene by scene, but like I feel like the opening was definitely an A+ opening. You were on the edge of your seat most of the movie, and it was from the get-go. Like the opening fight scene, you generally felt like anything could happen in this film. A big reason why I love it so much was all the twist moments I just didn't see coming. They generally surprised me. which is huge coming from the 8th film in a series. And that's not counting Rogue One as a spinoff. This would actually be the 9th live-action Star Wars movie, the 10th Star Wars movies in theaters when you count Star Wars, The Clone Wars, the animated Star Wars movie. So when you're that many movies in, to be able to actually surprise somebody who's seen them all, read a lot of the books, is just a Star Wars fan, to be able to surprise them, I think that is awesome. Big spoiler moment, later in the film, Snook's death at the hands of Kylo Ren, not the hands, the force of Kylo Ren, when he tricked him, like Snook was starting to seem like this unbeatable guy. Like Rey, who we've established in Force Awakens, is a pretty powerful Force user. She can't even bring the lightsaber to herself around him. He flies it around her, smacks her in the back of her head. He is toying with them. He really is just toying with them, and that's to show how immensely powerful he is. And he's taunting Rey, and he's so focused. I love this because when we saw the death of the Emperor in Return of the Jedi, it wasn't because Vader overpowered him. It was because he was so focused on doing the Force lightning on Luke and so focused on tormenting Luke that he didn't notice Vader betray him until it was too late. And then he dies. Here, Snook is so focused on taunting Rey and is beating into her that you have lost. Kylo Ren is about to kill you. I am reading his mind, and he is thinking that he is turning, like he is so focused right now, he is turning his lightsaber to his foe, his true foe. And he's about to ignite his saber, and he ignites it with the Force. He had turned the other saber, cutting Snook in half. Just like that moment was a giant twist wow factor. Like, I did not predict Snook's death. Like, no way, shape, or form did I think that Snook would die in the second film of this trilogy. And this is a part where some Star Wars fans, I feel like, are going to be upset because, and I get it, because you want to know who Snook was. Snook was this very mysterious figure of The Force Awakens, and you feel like this cheapens The Force Awakens a little bit, but I don't think it does. We can still dive in a lot into who Snook was. He definitely was still very powerful, and he didn't lose because he was weak. In fact, I think he lost because of his immense power. He was so powerful that he couldn't conceive that he would possibly fail here, especially not to Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren is a very powerful Force user, but Snook was like, I am in such control of this guy. I have manipulated him so much that there's no way he can overcome me right now. And because of that, that's why he failed. And I feel like that really does go in line with a lot of Sith lore. Yes, we heard J.J. Abrams say that there were no Sith in The Force Awakens, but they're dark side users, Snook and Kylo Ren. So they're going to have Sith tendencies at the very least. And I think we're seeing Kylo Ren wanting to become more and more Sith-like. He was following the rule of two. There was two of them. He had his master in Snook, and then he killed his master. Now it's time to take an apprentice. And he tried to get Rey. So he was following the rule of two, very much so. And so we have Kylo Ren now as our Sith, and we can definitely dive into Snook in books, and I think that there's a lot we can still do with him. He can still have a presence in the ninth one, or not. In either way, I think we're going to have a great end to this trilogy in 2 years from now. I mean, they surprised me so much with this. I truly believe anything could happen. And right now, we've only talked about very little bit about this film. I really, really enjoyed all scenes with the new character Rose and Finn together. They matched up well on the screen, and they played off each other very well. I very much enjoyed all interactions between Kylo Ren and Rey, and I very much enjoyed all interactions between Luke and Rey. I do like where Luke was. I know Mark Hamill came out and said that he didn't like where Luke was in this film, but I feel like it very much made sense in terms of where we are in this trilogy right now. He felt like he was a failure, and he felt like he failed because he bought into his own legend. He was Luke Skywalker. There's no way he could have failed, and that's why he failed. But then he got his gigantic redemption moment. Oh my goodness, was the Luke's... I'm skipping over so much the movie right now. We're going to go back. I wanted to talk about Luke. We're going to go back for a minute. Probably the second most surprising moment in the scene for me, and I mean, not scene, in the movie for me, was the scene where, I'm going to call it the light speed scene, where they shoot off into light speed through the dreadnought. And just, whoa, like the whole theater audibly gasped in that scene. And I don't know that I've ever been in a movie where the whole theater audibly gasped, not out of a fright moment, but out of a oh wow moment. Just like, oh, and this movie was filled with it. Leia saving herself using the Force when she's out in the vacuum of space, the light speed through the dreadnought scene, and then Luke. I'm gonna get to that scene now. I'm jumping ahead, guys. I'm just in such awe of this movie, and this is not an immediate reaction. I've talked it over with my wife and with a friend, and this is a next day my reaction. I'm still this wowed about it. I am very high on this movie. It was great, and I love this movie. I'm not prepared to rank it in terms of my favorite Star Wars movies yet, because I want to watch it again. I feel like in order to really rate it, we have to see how it ages. Because Empire Strikes Back is still my favorite movie of the Star Wars sagas. And we got to see if this movie is going to rank up there next to Empire Strikes Back or even better than it. I got to see how I still feel about it a year from now after 9 comes out. So I'm not going to rank it just yet, but I am going to say that I absolutely love it. So the Luke scene that I keep saying I'm going to talk about. Oh my goodness. Before this movie, in my video 2 weeks ago, I said that I wanted to see super powerful Luke. And boy, did we get it. So Kylo Ren is marching the Imperial forces up to the remaining, I can't say words, the remaining less than 400 members of the Resistance. They sent out a distress signal. Nobody answered. Like, this is, all hope is lost. And Luke Skywalker, who Rey has abandoned on Ahch-To, he has no way to get off. We saw his X-Wing underwater with pieces of it missing, because he used pieces of it to make the door on his hut. So, like, it's not all there. And so he can't physically leave his planet, but somehow he's there. He's there. He talks to Leia. He walks out, he confronts the First Order forces, and Kylo Ren orders all guns that they have. They have giant walkers, they have ships, they have all these weapons. He says, everything fire on that man right now. And they do. And there's the red salt's flying everywhere, laser fire, and then the smoke clears, the dust clears. Hux called it off, saying, I think we got him. And he was very, like, talking down to Kylo Ren at that moment. I think you've got him. And the dust clears, and Luke walks forward and brushes his shoulder off. And that was just like, whoa, that alone was a whoa moment. Kylo Ren goes down because for some reason he's like, all right, lasers don't work. I'm going to use my lightsaber, basically a laser sword, to go fight and kill Luke Skywalker. And they have a pretty cool but short fight where Luke is really acrobatic. Like, he's not doing crazy jumps, but he's super flexible. He's like sliding underneath the saber, and we have this cool little fight, and they're having an important dialogue. And then Luke says to him, not quite a quote of Obi-Wan to Darth Vader, if you strike me down, I will come back more powerful than you can possibly imagine. But he said, if you strike me down in anger, like your father, I will be with you always. It's saying, like, Han Solo, like, you killed Han in anger, Han is still with you forever. And, like, you can't get rid of us, basically, is what he's saying to Kylo Ren. And so Kylo tries to cut him in half, and his sword just passes right through, and Luke's fine. So he walks up to Luke, and Luke's put away his lightsaber, stabs through Luke, and it's then revealed Luke is he's not really there. He's projecting himself there from Ahch-To. And it's like, whoa, he had physically fought Kylo Ren. Like, their sabers were colliding. But Luke wasn't even really there. And there were several signs to it. Luke was using the lightsaber, Anakin Skywalker or the Rey lightsaber, whichever one you're whichever name you're used to calling it. It was the lightsaber Anakin had at the end of Revenge of the Sith that Obi-Wan picked up and took, that he gave to Luke in A New Hope, that Luke lost in Empire Strikes Back, that was returned to the series in Force Awakens. That saber was the handle, the hilt was torn in half between Kylo Ren and Rey just moments before this. And then somehow Luke's fighting with that. So there's a sign that something's not right here. And also when Luke's walking around, he's not leaving red footprints like everybody else did on the salt. And I think we got some great visuals with that salt kicking it up to reveal the red underneath and red dust explosions. But I think that was ultimately to try to hint to us that Luke wasn't actually there. And we find out Luke was on Ahch-To sitting crisscross applesauce in a meditation. And when he leaves Kylo with the line, see you around, kid. I mean, it just was awesome. He returns to Ahch-To, and biggest spoiler of all, it seems that he became one with the Force at the end and passed on. And I'm not using the term death there because he was a Jedi Master trained by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda, and they both became Force ghosts. We know that Anakin became a Force ghost after his death aboard the Death Star, and Qui-Gon Jinn is the one that taught them. That hasn't been revealed in the cinema, but it did get told at the end of Revenge of the Sith, but it's easily missed. So we know that there was already Anakin, Qui-Gon Jinn, Obi-Wan, and Yoda Force ghosts. I think there's now Luke Skywalker Force ghosts, and I think that's how he's going to be in 9. I don't think we're done with Mark Hamill in the series. At least I really hope not, because this was a Luke that I thoroughly enjoyed every second that he had on screen. Definitely, Kylo Ren stole a lot of the scenes that he was in. Like he was definitely menacing in this film, which was much needed after seeming really whiny and like a brat throwing fits most of the time in Force Awakens. He seemed menacing and powerful in The Last Jedi, which was needed. And so I feel like this movie, it's getting some heat from hardcore fans because they don't like how Snoke was discarded, and a lot of people are upset in Luke's deaths. I'm not. I feel like that was the perfect ending to Luke's physical life. But he's not done yet, and I know a lot of people are like, and a lot of people are upset about the reveal of Rey's parents, but I think this is a great story that they're saying, and anyone can be a hero. And don't worry, this is still about the Skywalkers. Remember, everybody's like, Star Wars is supposed to be about the Skywalker family. Kylo Ren is a Skywalker. He is the son of Leia and Han Solo, so he's Ben Solo, but Leia was the daughter of Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala. So he's the grandson of the Chosen One. And so this is still very much about the Skywalkers. And I'm still hoping, and I don't know if they'll do it, but I am really hoping that we do see Anakin's Force Ghost in Episode 9, because I just think it would be good for him to come back, get kind of more of a redemption moment. Anakin's name was in the mind of a lot of hardcore fans. He was very mistreated in the prequels. I have an unpopular belief where I actually do like the prequels. Not near as much of the original trilogy. Don't hate me. They definitely have their flaws. I am not a Jar Jar Binks fan. They definitely could have been way better. But I still like them. I still watch them. I can discard like 90% of Phantom Menace because... in my mind, Darth Maul dies there. I know he's alive in the cartoons and books and yada, yada, yada until Rebels. But I like Obi-Wan finishing him off in Phantom Menace. And, or because either that needed to happen and that be a final death, or he should have been the villain for the whole prequels. Because we had inconsistency in our villains. This is a talk for another day. So, my thoughts on The Last Jedi, guys, is it's incredible. Go see it. I'm going to see it again for sure. I absolutely love this movie. It is great. Normally I have more of a problem with critics reviews than I do user reviews, like the average watcher user reviews. But on Rotten Tomatoes, critics have given it like a 93%, and fans, last I looked, it was like 59%. Hardcore fans really, like, I know we wanted Snoke to have big reveal and big backstory. Nothing that they told us for his backstory was going to be as good as what we had in our minds. And don't worry, I'm sure there'll be books about it. And so you can get your fan service, and you will. There was tons of fan service in this movie for us. But what we need to take away from this is, guys, they surprised us. That is amazing. This was episode 8, and they still surprised us. That is amazing. Hats off to Rian Johnson. Thank you so much for this incredible movie. Thank you guys for watching. I have nothing else to say about it. I can just say it over and over again that I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought about it, or hit me up on Twitter or Facebook at HawkVlog1. Definitely hit up a conversation with me. Talk about it. If you're going to spoil anything, I'm going to have spoilers in this title. But if you're going to spoil anything on here, or Twitter at me, or Facebook at me, please put spoilers at the front of your comment so people can avoid it if they haven't seen the movie. I know it released last week by the time this video comes out, but let's just try to respect the fact that, guys, it's only been out for a few days, and so there's still going to be people who want to see it who haven't seen it yet. So let's not spoil it for them. Be good fans and consider it. This is MayorHawk, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Gotta hit this hot button.